All right, so let's talk about the pain. I think we all know that there are a lot of people in businesses of all different sizes and shapes that sit in, Tati, the chair that we've talked about a lot as the operator, customer experience, the business, who are so enthusiastic about what they've heard about what can happen when they embrace enterprise AI or AI at scale and all the different tools and the systems, et cetera. But then they have this colleague, sorry, Steve, that like kind of is on like Steve's side of the equation, right? Like very technical, super smart. But unlike Steve, who's a phenomenal guy and super cool, that guy isn't so cool, right? And that guy enjoys basically suggesting that there's all sorts of risk and all these different reasons that you can't embrace, AI and Tati, in your community, your world, like, hey, y'all don't really understand this stuff as well as we do. We're the technical geniuses, and how could you possibly suggest these things? And there's this paralysis that kicks in. And so, Tati, we'll go to you first. One, is what I just described valid that this happens? And then two, how do you think this pain is manifesting itself in different ways? Just staying on the problem as opposed to jumping into the solution. Let's stick with the problem for now.
I mean, the problem is real, right? So I know for a fact that AI is coming at every single one of these executives from every angle, right? It's coming at everyone from every angle. Whether it's vendors, you get, I don't know how many I get a day, different vendors that are trying to sell me something and related to AI. Then you have team pilots, you have board pressure, you have leadership asking what's happening, what is this, what is that. You have potentially, and again, not to pick on it, but potentially you may have a CTO or a CIO who hasn't been sharing as much, or has not, or
Pointing at you,
truthfully trying
Steve.
to figure it out themselves, right? Even if they are collaborative. So it is, you don't have, the reality is, you don't have time to go chase for answers. One that may or may not apply to your business. That's the other. What are you gonna do and chase for answers? Somebody told me the other day, like, "Well, just ask AI." I'm like, "Well, then you're not gonna get what you're looking for. That's not. That's. Let's start over on how you can bring value from it." So, it's, you want to lead. If you're interested in leading, not just reacting, you're going to need help, and you're going to need folks that know, and they build those muscles, right? They have led operations, they have built transformations at scale, just like you're doing. And now they're translating AI into real business value, and that's the part that I really hang on to when I'm talking to people everywhere, because that's been the history of my entire career. In working with any type of new technology, you're usually dealing with people, both the people that are building and the people that are selling you those things, that have not sat in your chair. So that's the main piece to me, that was one of the things that's so exciting about Aurora and about the work is we go for the things that matter. We understand what drives it, what moves the needle, whatever you want to say there, because everyone out there is doing something with AI. But when you dig in, it's usually a mix of like rogue pilots, very excited junior staff talking, a lot of jargon, and zero oversight and zero governance. And so there's so many angles and there's so many layers to it that it is imperative that it's, I think the most important thing, the number one for a leader is, everything I've just said is no surprise to any leader out there. But the first thing is to understand you cannot catch up to this by yourself, or your team cannot catch up to this on their own. They can't do it. And if you try to do it, it's a tremendous waste of resources. So that's the other angle to this, right? It's not just like, well, we can sit here and have a philosophical discussion. Well, my team can do it. I've hired 10 people to do it. You're still going to be, it's not the best use of your resources. So how can you get there fast? How can you get there effectively? And how can you get there in a way? And that's the other piece to this that's important to understand. There's no real there. Because it's not an end destination of like, well, once, which is so hard at times. I think for leadership at every level to grasp that is not a rollout as you had in the past, where you are, let's say you're changing your inventory systems and everybody has to learn the new inventory system. And once they learn the new inventory system, we're good to go. This is not it. You are going to continuously learn, and the thing you learned last time may not apply next month. So you need the right layer of advisory. Otherwise, even if you catch up, it's almost like saying that you're going to catch up, but you can never stop running.
Yeah.
You can't stop to sleep. You can't drink a glass of water. You can't stop for food. And by the way, you may or may not know where you're going.
Yeah, it's jumping in the ocean and now you got to swim. And there's a lot of ocean in front of you. Steve, I'm going to put you on the spot on this one with the pain. Would you agree that there are folks in the technology side of the house that do this, that talk about, oh, no, you don't understand this, the Tatis of the world, right, that sit in the business and customer experience and operations, and it's way more complicated than you can understand, and oh, it's so scary, how could you possibly put this recommendation forward, that's bananas, and if and when you agree with that, why are they doing that, and how do you deconstruct that? Like, what is that problem and what is that behavior? Because I think we've all experienced it.
Yeah, I think it's moving so fast that it's hard for everyone to keep up, including folks that have a day-to-day IT job. And I think there's a lot of companies out there that are not allocating the right resources and time and energy on this very fast-paced moving technology set that is going to, that is revolutionizing, the next gen of tech.
Yeah.
Obviously a big believer in AI. I was 10 years ago when Watson came out.
Shout out Watson.
Yeah.
Igor.
And it's just amazing to me over the last 2-3 years how much it's grown at pace, right? So it's tough for anybody to keep up. I think to your point, like there are definitely those pockets of folks, bureaucracy within IT that, they kind of have their own world, right? Yeah. And they may come back, with this is how we do it, this is how we've always done it, this is the right way to do it, right? But I think the reality is that world is changing so fast. Either anybody that's in a professional position has got to keep pace with all this stuff or they're going to be left behind, because it's moving at such a rapid pace and will continue to. Like, I think we're now into the kind of layer 2 of all the Gen AI tools that are coming out there, and now you're seeing like all the Gen AI being built into the native platforms, things like HubSpot and Notion and like tools that business users use. And that's going to continue to move at pace. Everything's going to have AI built into it. And that is going to enable business users, execs, to do things on their own. And that's how it should be, right? So I think it's a great problem that exists out there. But the punchline is if you're not keeping up, if you're not keeping pace, if you don't have the right team behind you, the right advisors, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Or the reality of the world is that stuff's going to continue to be automated, and when automation happens, that also means that there's going to be need to do things with less budget, right? So automate things, remove budget, automate things. This has been happening since the dawn of IT. So.
For sure. I'm gonna, and I know we're gonna try to keep this one a little bit short, but I'm gonna make a statement that I think brings together both of the things that you both mentioned there, which I love, and see how y'all react to this. So it sounds like what is likely happening in that scenario, generally, the problem is that both parties, right, the technical leadership and the technical teams, as well as the business teams, are equally challenged and likely excited, but also there could be some fear in there around, I don't know what I don't know, and therefore maybe I'm going to kind of coil back as opposed to lean forward. And maybe that's where there's an opportunity to bridge those gaps by creating a more trusted environment to reveal those types of concerns, as opposed to an environment that perhaps prevents them from doing that. Is that a fair statement? And I don't know who's going in, but somebody jump in and
Yeah, no, it's fair, and I also think that there's an aspect of, at least on the kind of tech side, like you're supposed to know, right?
Right.
And then you get a little bit of people not being able to keep up and keep pace, and then they get asked the question by their CEO or their VP, like, we got to use AI. What's this? Use this tool. I heard about this. And so it's tough all around to keep pace, but that's why you have the ability to kind of bring in good consultants, bring in good advisors, and help you keep pace.
Because ultimately, as an executive, you don't fear disruption, you don't fear change, you fear the wasted effort, you fear this avoidable risk, right? You fear this piece on, like, because it's not, you hear so much like, oh, AI is going to blow up your business. It's not AI is going to blow up your business. Is that you're going to waste time, you're going to chase the wrong things, you're going to let someone make a mistake that was totally preventable. You're already spending more money in AI than you believe, then you're quantifying, guaranteed, just on the time and the meetings and the team hours and all those things, and trying to figure these things out. So what if you had a line to people who have the answer to that question? What about this, or what about that? And can we do this? Would that work for me? That was not someone that was trying to sell you that product. That was not someone that was trying to make that was truly with your best interest at heart, with your success.
If only there were some unbiased people with that kind of cross-functional knowledge, John. I mean, what a crazy idea.
We
That's called
only
an
put
alley.
together things we wish we had. Sorry. So we only put together things we wish we had. I wish I had
Right?
that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll put it out there because I love doing these spicy takes. Is like I love going into rooms with these deeply technical folks that can overwhelm, those that don't have that orientation per se, and help bridge some gaps and turn the temperature down so that teams can, perform and put those resources, to your point, Tati, towards growth and opportunity, as opposed to meetings about meetings and the tax of all that overhead stuff that just, it's brutal. So this is awesome. I was really hoping that we would get there. I talked a little bit too much here. We're at 12. This is a 13-minute job, but maybe we'll edit it up. But thank you, Tati. Thank you, Steve. You guys nailed the pain. It's real. So thanks. See ya.
See ya.